Hey guys, how's everyone doing? I hope you're doing good. This video is going to be a bit longer than the usual ones, at least I think so. So please try and watch to the end, and if you can't, add it to your watch later and just watch it in bits. I want to preface this video by saying this is not an attack on anybody mentioned, especially not Corbens. I don't want to get people sacked. I doubt that's going to happen, but I just want to make that very crystal clear. What I want to see is Rec Room Inc. change how it operates. On Reddit, I asked for problems people had with Rec Room. I wanted to know what people's main concerns were, and some people really went in. There is some massive comments that I'm just going to show some screenshots of now. Some massive comments detailing a lot of issues. Some about the company, some about the community. This video is going to be about the company. The community will get their day one day. Maybe. Now, the main aim of the Reddit post was to really try and get some reassurance, some backup for my points, because it's easy to just write this video off as just, oh, it's another person complaining about Rec Room. This is a universal issue. These issues I'm about to bring up are felt by everybody, except for the last one. The last one's pretty big. But Rec Room, you cannot ignore this any longer. It's for your own good. So sit down, watch the video, listen, and change how you act. I'm sure all of you have heard of Gribbly. He's one of the creators of Rec Room. Now, he's a very engaging speaker. You know, he could sell water to a fish, but he's also a liar.
We're going to be piloting real-time automated processing of voice chat, assisting our human moderators to make sure that people are adhering to the code of conduct. Most of the processing is going to happen on device, running locally, keeping an eye on things with some additional processing on the servers when necessary. Nothing gets stored. We're not going to store the voice chat. It gets processed, it gets assessed, it gets sent to our moderation systems and teams, but we don't store it.
Now, I'm not sure what you guys think, but in my honest opinion, that just would not work. The Quest can't even handle crescendo, let alone analyzing voices for abusive language. To do this locally, you'd have to compress the shit out of it. And even if you could do that and it still work, it would be an absolute battery drainer for even stuff like the Quest and the Quest 2. It just would not work. The Quest 2 can't handle a constant running buffer to clip things. It would not be able to handle constantly checking mic audio for abusive language. Now, I asked about this on Reddit to one of the developers. Jay from Rec Room says that it was never actually intended to be real time. It was never intended to assign kicks or bans, even though Gribbly very clearly stated it did do it in real time, moderating voices. So, which one is it? Does it assign kicks and bans? Does it moderate you in real time? Or is Gribbly just lying? Speaking of Gribbly, now, at the same keynote where he talked about the real-time voice moderation, he also mentioned this.
We get asked a lot, hey Rec Room, what's your vision for the metaverse? How do you guys think about this? We definitely believe it's the future. The point I want to make is that because it's a metaverse event, it can be scaled way beyond a physical event. We can have way more people. There's no reason we can't have millions of people at a RecCon. But it's also, in terms of carbon footprint, a tiny, tiny fraction. We think we're going to see the largest music festivals in history. We think we'll see virtual malls that are 10x the scale of anything that exists in the real world. We think we'll see schools. We think we'll see universities. Work, play, make money, spend money, meet people, and even fall in love. That's what's going to happen on the people-powered platform that is the Rec Room metaverse.
So I'm not sure about you guys, but watching that clip, it sounds delusional, to say the least. It's clear that he's thinking too big. Why would any school, university, mall, or music concert happen in Rec Room? And I know that one music concert happened in RecCon. I'd never heard of that guy before, I'm gonna be honest. Like, no offense to him, but I'd never heard of him before, and I don't think any big names would be like, yeah, I want my concert on Rec Room. The server space you'd need for that would be huge. The only people I could think could do that is Meta/Facebook, and they're working on building that platform from the ground up. Rec Room, on the other hand, is known as VR Roblox by pretty much everybody. It's not got the best reputation with people outside of its own sphere. And by the looks of it, it doesn't look like you're trying to shake that perception either. I mean, your marketing. The adverts are not that good, to be honest. I'll talk about that later. But I'll just play a clip of an advert here. Tell me If you play Rec Room, tell me if this looks like the kind of thing Rec Room is all about, because to me it really does not. One of the justifications Gribbly made for having all these events in Rec Room is that it would supposedly create less CO2, therefore it's better for the environment. But the insane amounts of server space you'd need to hold something bigger than, say, Glastonbury, something that could hold supposedly millions of people. Let's say your whole unique player base of 37 million. How much server space would you need to hold all those people in one room? You'd need a lot. And how much CO2 is that going to make? Probably a lot. So your CO2 offset here is not going to be as good as you're making it out to be. And besides that, if online learning in 2020 and 2021 haven't taught you anything, people are going to find a way to exploit online school and online university in a VR platform known for its toxic community. Just saying.
My disappointment is immeasurable, and my day is ruined.
Let's take you back to 2019. That's the year I started playing Rec Room. It was very clear back then that the game was focused on quality. This was the year Stunt Runner came out in September that year. Back in 2019, there was no Rec Room Plus. It was just token boxes and the starter pack that you could buy. You could also get upwards to 500 tokens a day. You'd get 10 boxes, each with 50 tokens in it. You could also get 50 tokens out of your daily challenges. You'd get 10 for each challenge completed and then 20 when you completed them all. So even if you didn't do all of them, if you just scored a basket in a rec center, if you just cheered someone and you didn't feel like playing dodgeball or golden trophy, you'd still get tokens. It was clear then that tokens were easy to get and they encouraged you to try and earn them. There were also orientation challenges for new players, which were a whole lot better than orientation now. Orientation challenges actually served as the tutorial, like orientation is meant to be. But it did a better job at actually teaching you because it took you around the game. It made you play different games, do different things, and you'd earn tokens each time. And then that would build up your experience so you'd find out how to play the game. Orientation, on the other hand, the room, is awful. It shows you what Rec Room's like, but it really doesn't. It shows you some holotars of people pretending to play games, and then some of the stuff the community's made, all while Amy Lee just spouts on about how great the game is. It doesn't really serve much of a tutorial, which is why you get so many new players not knowing what they're doing. Then 2020 rolled around. You had lockdown, people were staying inside, so they were playing more games. The Quest 1 and then the Quest 2 later that year came out, and they were, fairly affordable to most, accessible VR headsets, which meant there were more people coming to the game. Rec Room saw the potential for money here, and that's when they released Rec Room Plus. That's when they came out with the Xbox version, and then in 2021, the Android version. They also started doing misleading adverts in late 2021 to 2022. These are all connected, believe it or not, because accessible VR headsets, widespread misleading adverts, and screen mode all have one thing in common. They all bring a larger audience to the game, and therefore more money. When you have more people playing a game, including children, when all those little kids come onto this game, there's a higher chance that one of them is going to go get their parents' credit card and buy tokens or Rec Room Plus, which brings more money. Obviously, people who make a game will want more people so they can make more money, right? But the problem here is they started to sacrifice on the quality. This is something that not a lot of people see, but I see it, and a lot of veteran players actually see it as well, but the newer ones don't. People will be like, oh, they're a company, they're supposed to be they're trying to make money. That's their goal, yes. But they're doing it by making an awful game that panders to people. Take a look at just some of these adverts.
My name is Cyber, this is Rec Room, and can you escape? Come on guys, we gotta go.
Okay, so that one capitalizes on FNAF security breach.
Why are we still here? Just to suffer?
Wait, who are you? Oh, wait, what? Where are we?
Huh?
This is Rec Room!
Let's go! Yeah! Alright! Yeah! Whoa! This is so awesome!
Yo, the swing though!
That one capitalizes on Spider-Man No Way Home. It's clever marketing, but it is awful because it does not show what Rec Room is like. Escape online with friends Become your own superhero. That's one room for become your own superhero. And that's one genre for escape online with friends. That isn't even Rec Room originals that are like that. That is Ignited Freddy and a roleplay map. Those are community-made games, and the same with the Spider-Man one, really. And even that one's not exactly that good. Going back to 2020 though, they made some fundamental changes along with adding Rec Room Plus. They pulled guaranteed tokens from Rec Room Originals. Guaranteed tokens just aren't there anymore. You get these little screens, your watch pops up, it gives you 3 options, usually some food or some clothing, some film. Sometimes you get tokens. 10 tokens, 25 tokens, 50 or 100, right? 150 are very rare. It's 25 and 10 that I get most of the time now these days. Even though it seems like there's more tokens available when you get 100 per box, you're really getting less because it's not guaranteed tokens, is it? Would you rather have 10 boxes at random times with 50 tokens, or would you rather get pizza, pretzels, some donuts? Oh, and then there's 100 tokens right there. So now they've taken away tokens for most players. What are they gonna do next? Start releasing expensive sets. Start releasing expensive limited time sets, which started happening late last year, early this year. It was probably actually midway through last year they started releasing limited time sets at a pretty high premium. Now there's one simple answer for why they're doing that. They want people to buy tokens. They're taking away the ability to get tokens, so you're left with one option, buy. I call this model save or spend, because you got the spend side here, which is you buy tokens, or you got the save side, which is when big token events happen. Now there was FriendFest last year, which I did. I got about 30k tokens from it. And there is still a FriendFest going on now. When you refer people, they use your code and then you get a box. But that's also not guaranteed tokens. Last year it was guaranteed tokens and I got, again, 30k. Pretty big tokens. But then I had to save those. I couldn't spend those immediately because I had no idea what sets were going to be released and if I'd want to buy them. If I spent those 30k then, something might come out later and then I'd have to spend. You're constantly gambling whether to save your tokens and maybe miss out on something that's coming out now, or spend them and then having to spend real money after you've lost all your tokens buying something earlier. They want the money. That's all they're here for. They're here for money, which is why the game has drastically decreased in quality. Also, a prominent part of Rec Room's community, this is the only community thing I'm really going to bring up, is the drip or drown atmosphere. The only reason I'm bringing this up is because Rec Room knows that there's a drip or drown culture in their game, in their community. And they capitalize off of that by releasing these expensive limited time sets. Because they know that people want to look rich. I've actually had a kid say to me that I did not have Rec Room Plus, when I have had Rec Room Plus twice, and I was wearing Rec Room Plus things when he said it. That just goes to show you, they capitalize off of this toxic drip or drown atmosphere, and they don't care, they just exploit it. So it's clear that they're sacrificing quality for money. Clearly, you know, the game is really buggy. But I'm going to talk about that a bit later. First, I've got a bone to pick.
Yo, Pierre, you want to come out here?
Now, if you don't know who Corbens is, he's one of Rec Room's developers, just like Gribbly, just like Hairy Man Legs. Corbens is one of the social guys. He does social media stuff. He's been in some of the adverts before. He has his own Instagram and TikTok pages where he makes some very tasteful jokes. Let's take a look at one of those. Oh, right, so just a bit of context. This was posted on or around December 1st, the start of, excuse my language, Destroy Dick December, which is right after No Not November. That whole meme is about masturbation. On his Instagram page, where children follow him, A, and B, where he's representing Rec Room. When I went to make my post on the subreddit, asking for people's complaints, I saw this little message about the rules. Here, code of conduct. It says, our code of conduct expands to our public forums. I'm pretty sure Instagram and TikTok count as public forums for Rec Room. You know, it's social media, innit? So, if I can't have Jerry's Fat Nuts as my name, Corbens, why can you make jokes about beating your dick, quote unquote? Or beating your meat, should I say. He's making this joke to his audience that is children. You know, we've looked in the comments, there are people here that are 13, 14 years old. It's a bit weird making those jokes to your audience of children, mate. Like, I'm not making any allegations whatsoever. Don't sue me. Don't, you know, no allegations here. The facts are you're making jokes about masturbating, and people who are as young as 14 are watching these TikToks you're making. Let's take a look at another one of these TikToks that he's made.
Gregory, I think you deserve a reward. Go check the main stage.
Whatever you want, Mom.
Yeah, I mean, it's Rule 34, innit? Like, it's not nudity, but it is very suggestive. It's practically Rule 34. It would probably belong on one of those sites. Now, these TikToks, obviously they're jokes. I'm probably going to get comments saying, Jerry, it's obviously a joke. I know that. I'd probably find it funny if I hadn't been banned for being called Jerry's Fat Nuts. I got banned for a week, name locked, and I had to grovel to the Rec Room conduct team to get my name changed. Meanwhile, Corbens, employed by Rec Room, representing Rec Room, can make jokes far worse, in my opinion, than the word nuts. Let's also not mention that the code of conduct uses the word ass, which has many implications that I'll show here. Again, like I said at the start of this video, I don't want Corbens in trouble for this, alright? I would have found the jokes that he made funny, if not for the fact that I was banned for tamer stuff. I want to be absolved of my wrongdoing. I don't want this guy to get in trouble. But I do think he needs to judge his audience better because, you know, these jokes aren't really appropriate for 14-year-olds. That's just my opinion, though.
What is this Mickey Mouse bullshit I see before my very eyes?
Okay, so let's go back again to 2019. You know, prosperity on the horizon. 2020 is looking good. And then 2020 rolls around and it's not good at all. Now, the pandemic should not have hindered development, or at least I don't think it hindered development as much as they said it did. They released a whole port in the middle of the pandemic. They released the Xbox version of Rec Room. I do think it did somehow impede the development of the new Rec Room original, which was Rec Rally, but it didn't make you guys forget how to code. It shouldn't have hindered the quality of your coding, because at the end of the day, it's the same language, it's the same stuff that you're writing. Every update that has been added for the past few months, year, have been filled with bugs that have been ranging from inconvenient to game breaking. You know, you had the infinite loading glitches on Quest and Quest 2. I'm pretty sure there were some of those on PlayStation as well. You had the Dead Alive glitch in Rec Royale, and the gondola glitch also in Rec Royale. Now I'm going to talk about the Dead Alive glitch specifically because that affects me. I'm a pretty avid Rec Royale player. Now I sent Rec Room a ticket reporting this bug and they said, yeah, we've heard about it before. If you come across a player who should be dead that is still trying to attack you, just tell them that they should be dead. Yeah, I think you guys can tell how that's not going to work. If I still have a gun and you're still taking damage, I'm probably not going to listen to you. If you try and tell me that I'm dead, it sounds like a troll, doesn't it? If somebody would believe me, well, there's junior accounts as well. And don't start talking about the try not to matchmake with juniors option, because that just does not work at this rate, especially not after 2021 Christmas. But you cannot communicate with a junior account. That is one of the rules, that is one of the stipulations of having a junior account. You can't voice chat, you can't text chat, which I understand, that keeps kids safe. It's certified by some company that's reputable. It's meant to keep kids safe and it does its job, right? But it is awful in terms of experience, in terms of gameplay, it is awful because there's no communication possible. If you have, say, a junior player teammate, you can't communicate with them, you can't talk to them, and therefore there's less coordination. And if a junior player should be dead and is still attacking you, you can't tell them not to attack you. So their solution before they fixed it 2 months later was useless, pretty much. Even now, there are bugs that have predated the pandemic and have predated me joining this game that have existed since before 2019, catch-outs being one of them. Dodgeball is just severely neglected, and not just by the players. The dev team just don't care. Shadow balls and catch-outs, I've heard of those since I started the game. And they're still very prominent, they're still an issue. It just doesn't make sense to me how a bug can exist in a game for so long and the dev team just does not even mention it, doesn't try and fix it. The game is just a buggy mess, even now, even after they went into that cleanup mode or whatever it was called after Rec Rally was released. Now, Rec Room operates on what they call a ready, fire, aim approach. You guys are proud of that? So you do something, you think of an update, right? And then you release it. Without even the aim part, I assume, is the debugging process. How can you guys be proud of that? I mean, we can tell you believe in it. Every update you do adds a new bug, a really obvious, clear bug that is spotted on day one. But a couple updates ago, when they planned to add in the new profile, they had to remove it from the patch notes because it was broken. You didn't even test to see if it worked. You added in the update, threw it in the patch notes along with all the other stuff you did, and then it didn't work. And you had to remove it from the patch notes, and you had to pretend like you didn't do it, and then added it a couple weeks later. That's your ready, fire, aim approach that you're so proud of? I don't know how you can possibly endorse, justify, or defend that. Ready, fire, aim is seen as a bad thing with the community. It's a joke to us. Rec Room, your ready, fire, aim approach is actively shafting Legacy. I can't say shafting, can I? Rec Room, you're making too many changes. You're actively screwing over the Legacy players. The new Maker Pen UI, that's not exactly new anymore, it's been replaced by the Profile UI. But the new 2D UIs are the reason I'm making this video. They pushed me over the edge. I was just gonna sit complacent, be like, yeah, whatever, game bad. But you're just changing too much, and it shows your screen player bias that I was talking about earlier. The 2D UIs are obviously intended for your screen market. The whole point of VR is being tactile, being 3D, you're meant to interact with things. Oh, look. Having a 2D menu and a 2D interface does not help that one bit. The old 3D watch was color-coded. I had my muscle memory for it. It's been there since 2016. And you changed it. The new Maker Pen UI is god-awful and was definitely intended for screen builders, which don't exist. You've provided no proof that anybody even wanted these changes. And the reasons you did give, apart from, oh, we've asked builders, was we want to add new things to the Maker Pen. That's great. Have you not heard of a sub-menu? You could have added a few arrows at the bottom of the Maker Pen menu. Click that, oh, okay, another page. You didn't have to add this disgustingly awkward 2D UI that isn't easy for anybody to use, and people are gonna have to relearn to use it. I'm friends with a fairly prominent builder, and even he said he didn't like it, all right? You've pushed people away by adding these 2D UI updates because it makes the game harder to navigate. And again, you've had these 3D UIs since 2016. Do they have no sentimental value to you?
All right, everyone, let's have a big cheer for our Stunt Runner champion!
If I could use one word to describe the Reclympics, it would probably be shambolic. Screen mode was just, it clearly had advantages over VR. When they've got the reticle, the little crosshair in the center, when they can make very precise inputs on their gamepad or their keyboard and mouse, compared to us having to move our hands and aim by eye in precision events like archery or disc throw. Add on top of that the maps were buggy, felt rushed, and weren't made in Unity like every single Rec Room original ever. I get the feeling that you were trying to show off what you can do in the Rec Room engine, and it really sold me. Every time Power Jams told someone to shoot a pot that had fell down in archery, I was just thinking, wow, I would love to build in Rec Room. Also, the event timings were just not right. You guys clearly hadn't planned this out correctly because there were people who had to do their events off camera. They weren't even on the stream. They didn't even get the little bit of attention and support that you guys claimed they would. But back to the point, the VR players, the genuinely good VR players, were made to look awful by screen players. And I'm not saying necessarily that the screen players were bad at their game, but they were being heralded as these amazing athletes, amazing recleats, when they just had the precision that comes with being a screen player. So they should be separate. Reclympics VR, Reclympics screen, You can run them side by side, you can run them one after the other, but just separate them out because they clearly cannot be competed against each other. They don't even compare. Also, make them in Unity next time.
Can I have cheeseburger, please?
If you've watched this far, congrats. You're finally at the real meat of the video. Rec Room and Roblox are very similar, but not for the reason you might think. I watched a video by a channel called People Make Games, where they talked about the economy of Roblox and how it might exploit children. And I did notice quite a few parallels between Roblox's economy and Rec Room's economy and how they work. So I'm gonna structure my next few points in a very similar way, in a very similar order to how the guy in the video does it, and use clips of his video just to draw parallels between the two. Honestly, do make sure you go watch his video. I've put it in the iCard in that corner. I'll put it in the description. Make sure you watch it because it is a really interesting video, even though it's about Roblox. Rec Room is currently worth $3 billion as a company.
When Roblox went public on the stock market this year, it was valued at a staggering $41 billion.
Now, of course, the main way that they increase the player base on the game is through their community games. Those are the main content that is provided in the game.
These kids are not just hobbyists. They're doing real work that is driving the value of one of the biggest video game publishers in history.
The creator of Rec Room, Gribbly, loves to boast about how players can make money, even a living, on Rec Room.
This year, creators have earned almost 2 billion Rec Room tokens. They can turn those tokens into real money. And so as of right now, as of today, we went and checked, our top creator is currently making almost $10,000 a month. So that's kind of some real money right there. So we're really, really excited to see creators, being rewarded for the effort that they're putting in.
But if kids click on that, they see make anything, reach millions of players, and earn serious cash. Creators like you, it says, are being paid for what they love to do.
Rec Room only claims to take a 30% cut from all creator commerce transactions. All these transactions are made and paid in tokens, which can then only be spent in Rec Room.
Roblox takes a 30% cut of every transaction on their platform, and then you actually get paid the rest in Robux, which of course isn't real money. You can only spend it in Roblox.
The minimum withdrawal amount is 250,000 tokens, which is £320 worth of tokens to a player if you were to buy that amount.
If any Roblox user wants to take Robux back out of their account and put it in their bank account as actual currency, the minimum withdrawal amount is 100,000 Robux, valued at around $1,000 US.
If you don't hit that, you get nothing. And if your Rec Room Plus runs out, you have 21 days to claim it or it gets voided completely.
If you make $900 worth of Robux selling stuff you've made, your real life paycheck will be $0.
Also, you must pay the premium membership to even withdraw in the first place.
Oh, and also, you can't withdraw anything unless you're first paying for a Roblox monthly premium subscription.
Now, it is quite difficult for a common player to make 250,000 tokens, so you may wonder where those tokens go if they don't get withdrawn. Well, they get sent back into the economy. So, it either goes to another player who gets a 30% cut taken away by Rec Room, or it goes straight to Rec Room buying one of their original consumables, clothing, hair dyes, etc., which they take 100% cut off, obviously. In
making the minimum withdrawal amount so high, Roblox is just increasing the chances that you won't hit that cap, and so will just plow the money back into Roblox. Whether that's buying games or cosmetics.
So even though they claim to only take a 30% cut, when it gets cycled around, slowly the cut from Rec Room starts becoming bigger and bigger.
Tons of Robux don't ever make it off the platform. Instead, they just go round and round with Roblox taking cut after cut.
Withdrawals are paid $100 per 250,000 tokens, which means you make less than 24% of what they would make on the same amount of tokens.
You see, Roblox buys Robux from users at a very different rate that it sells them. So withdrawing 100,000 Robux doesn't get you $1,000 US, it gets you $350.
Now here's where Rec Room might differ from Roblox. Rec Room payouts are not tax-free. I'm not sure about Roblox, but Rec Room payouts definitely aren't. US creators are taxed anywhere from 28 to 30%, so really you're making $70 per 250,000 tokens, or just under 17% of what they would make on the same amount of tokens. I mean, who's really going to be making 250,000 tokens anyway? It's not going to be the common creator. I mean, hey, if you wait long enough, maybe you might even be able to scrape 250,000 tokens together, and then you get, what, a measly payout of $70? It is a bit of a far cry from Gribbly's claim of being able to make a living. But how much do you have to make to actually make a living? Now, the keynote was in 2021, so let's use the 2021 minimum wage for Washington State, which is where Rec Room HQ is. Assuming you work a 40-hour week, 52 weeks a year with no days off, you scrape a measly $24,639.20 for the whole year. That is barely a living wage, but to be honest, that's more of a criticism of the US government than it is Rec Room itself. Let's also assume that our creator is in the W8 tax bracket, which is 28%. That leaves them $72 every 250,000 tokens they take out. So let's take our minimum wage that our aspiring creator is going to make, and we divide that by $72, meaning he has to make 342.2 times 250,000 tokens, just over 85 million in 1 year. And since you can only cash out once a month, let's also say that he's making a consistent amount of money a month. 7,129,398 tokens a month. That is an absurd amount of money to make in 1 month. There's no way the regular creator can make even close to that amount a month or a year. Basically, you'd have to make more tokens a year than there have ever been accounts on Rec Room, which is 37 million, roughly. I guess it's possible for some dude to be incredibly popular and make those tokens now. But the average creator, your average Joe making stuff on Rec Room, is not going to make close to that. So just advertising this game as somewhere you can make a living is clearly misleading. So now you know how Rec Room's economy functions. Now you know why they want tokens, where the tokens go, and now you know why they're so greedy for people to buy more. I wanted to take this video one further than just Rec Room bad. I wanted to give reasons. This video might be called The Death of Rec Room, but I really want you guys to see this more as a criticism than an attack. I want the Rec Room devs to watch this video and feel like they need to improve the way they operate. I want Rec Room Inc. to care about this game as much as Against Gravity did. It may include some sprinkles of humour, funny or not. It may include me plainly telling one of the creators that he's delusional. But at the core of this video, the intentions are good. I want this game to encapsulate me like it did back in 2019. The summer of 2019 was incredible. I remember everything about the game was just capturing me. The atmosphere, the games, the people. It felt like I could meet anyone and make anything. I always look back on that summer, the people I met, the things that we did, with fondness. And I look at the same platform just short of 3 years later, with sadness, at how this game has just turned into a money printer, at how the development team lost sight of what was important and took pride in their frankly awful approach to this game. You don't want to ready, fire, aim this game. That's why there are so many bugs. The updates come out and the forethought that should have come before them becomes hindsight. I loved this game. I continued to give you guys money, maybe to make me happy, maybe in hopes that one day you'll improve. If anybody from Rec Room is watching, and I sincerely hope you are, take this video as I intend it to be, as a positive message from the community that we just want you guys to care again. We just want you to make the changes that make this game great. We want to enjoy playing Rec Room again. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you did enjoy, please do leave a like, share it, subscribe. I'd like to thank Jimmy Jane for helping me film this video and come up with some ideas. Thank you to everybody who commented on my Reddit post, because it really helped add some substance and some power to what I was saying. And if anyone from Rec Room Inc. is watching this video, I don't want to have to present this plaque to you guys. Honestly, this game used to be amazing. Right, see you guys in the next video, whenever that is, probably never. Hope you have a good one.